Also, former White House strategist Steve Bannon now says he's willing to testify before the January 6th committee. This is interesting. This is according to a letter his lawyer sent to the committee over the weekend. Bannon's willingness to cooperate comes a week before jury selection is supposed to start in his contempt of Congress trial. He was indicted back in November for not complying with a congressional subpoena sent by the Select Committee. Also over the weekend, former President Trump released a letter saying he would waive executive privilege over Bannon's testimony. A federal judge has previously called Trump's claim of executive privilege, quote, at best, ambiguous. NBC News legal analyst Barbara McQuade posted on Twitter that the letter from Bannon's team to the committee was, quote, a gimmick to provide a last-ditch defense in Bannon's criminal case and poison the well in the January 6th investigation. Let's bring in congressional investigations reporter for the Washington Post, Jackie Alemany, and state attorney for Palm Beach County, Dave Aronberg. Good to have you both. So, Jackie, what else can we expect this week? And what does Steve Bannon's willingness to testify, what does it tell us? I mean, is it going to be a day of pleading the fifth, or, my gosh, he wouldn't dare lie under oath, would he?
Right, Nika. There are a lot of questions about Steve Bannon's potential testimony, but fresh in this morning is another interesting development, which is that in his contempt of Congress case, which he's actually supposed to appear in federal court for today, Justin Clark, a lawyer to former President Trump, who was in negotiations with Bannon's lawyer, appeared before that court and said that the former president actually did not exert executive privilege over Bannon's potential testimony, contrary to what his lawyer has been arguing. So Barbara McQuade's tweet, I think, was pretty on the mark that this was a gimmick. Bannon is facing potential legal fines up to a year in prison for this contempt of Congress charge that he's facing right now. But if he does come forth to the committee, I think he could fill in some gaps about his conversations with the former president. We reported in our deep dive over the weekend that his number is all over White House call logs on January 5th and January 6th. He also was someone who spoke to the president in December. He considers himself sort of the ideological grandfather of this Stop the Steal movement and the efforts to overturn the results of the election. We also know that he was one of the few to receive a pardon from the former president after January 6th. Paul Gosar, the congressman from Arizona, is the person who emailed the White House counsel asking for this pardon for Bannon and four of his co-defendants in the We Build the Wall fraud case. Bannon ultimately was the only one out of that group of four to receive that pardon on, I believe it was January 19th. So there are lots of interesting questions here. Also, the fact that Bannon is viewed as sort of one of those figures in the quote-unquote marshaling of the mob that we've heard lawmakers on the panel discuss in the lead up to Tuesday's hearing.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see. Mickey, you were asking whether he was going to plead the fifth. It'll be fascinating to see what he's done. For somebody that has been in trouble, that's gotten a pardon, pleading the fifth obviously would make a lot more sense than going in committing perjury for a guy who obviously wouldn't lift a finger to try to defend him.